Good morning. So I don't know if you noticed or not what I put as the title of this post. We all know that I'm talking about emotions and essential oils. And I just think it's funny that God thinks it's so funny to assign this post to me on a day when I'm at home with my crazy boys. And on Fridays, that's our first day at home, so they are like ready to go crazy and be at home. So I'm going to just go ahead and pre-warn you. If you hear any crazy noises, any interruptions or anything like that, like there's a little tractor coming towards us right now. That's just my boys. They're playing outside, and it's just what we do. And so, yeah. Good morning. So I am going to share with you guys just a snippet. Oh, look, not today, Satan. We're going to have a good day at home with my children, and we're going to have fun. And we're going to get through this video, and then we're going to work outside, and we're going to enjoy our Friday. It's not today, Satan. It's not ruining it today. I love that I get to be the one to share with you about emotions and essential oils, because if you've heard me talk or share, or you've seen my website, or you've read some of my blogs, or anything, you'll know that I am an extremely emotional driven person. I don't care so much about the circumstances going on around me, but the mindset that I'm in those circumstances with are extremely important. The mindset of others that are in those circumstances with me is extremely important. And so emotions is just, it's very, we all have them. Some of us repress them. Some of us have no way of controlling them or stopping them. Or, and then some of us are kind of in the middle. Some of us are all over the place. Some of us are considered normal when it comes to emotions, whatever normal is. But I could totally geek out on you, and I'm going to try to reframe. Some of the main things that I want you to know is, number one, no matter where you are in your emotional state, you're not alone. There's always room for improvement, and you can control this. You can get through this. You can grow. You can. There's no ceiling, there's no limit, and there's always hope. So those are the things I want you to know, most of all. God designed us to have emotions. God designed our emotions to play a very important role in who we are and the things we do and how we respond. Some of our most basic emotions, fear and love, those things play a huge role in the decisions that you make every single day. Every decision you make is based either of fear or of love. Good morning, Karen. Hold on. Hey, I know you got hurt, and I'm very sorry. You guys, I know, but remember, Mommy's talking. I'm teaching people right now, and you guys play and play nice, and if you can't play next to each other, don't. And I'll be there in just a moment. All right. So, good morning. Every decision you make is based either out of fear or of love. And I challenge you today to take inventory of the decisions that you're making or that you've maybe already made this morning. And your challenge through all of this will be to go through and start asking yourself why. What made me do this? Why did I do this? Why did I choose this? Why? Like, you're going to have to be very self-reflective. In order for us to be in control of our emotions and not our emotions just happen to us. Okay, I want you guys to, like, give me a thumbs up or a hand raise emoji or a like or something if you felt like your emotions have ever just happened to you. Like, you didn't choose to feel what you're feeling, but boom, there's just this overwhelm of emotion, right? Okay, that's happened to me a lot. Good morning, Robin. So, our emotions do happen to us, I think, and we don't realize it a lot of times, but that's what we're here to talk about, is how we can be aware of our emotions and how, yeah, baby, thank you.
What are those?
Please, it's a fruit. Please take it back over there. Remember, Mommy's talking to people. You can't eat that right now. You can show me that after we're done.
Can I just sit right here by you?
Shh. Yes. Not today, Satan. As I lathered myself enjoying abundance at the beginning. You're going to quit talking or you're going to go inside. Okay? Both of you. So, vibrational frequency. I don't know if many of you have heard this word before. Thank you, Katie. You've heard people, you'll see like, oh, they're so vibing with me. Or I'm putting off good vibes. Good morning, good vibes, everybody. You hear people talk about vibes. That is rooted in our vibrational frequencies. Every living thing has a vibrational frequency, and this is what I can totally geek out on you guys about, even though I don't fully understand all of the science. It is so intriguing to me, and I love learning about it, and I'm a blue-red, so everything I learn about, I think everybody else needs to know about. So, there you go. Vibes is truth. In the beginning, John 1:1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So in Genesis 1, the account of creation, the words, and God said, is, I think it's over 9 times. I'm looking for it. Yeah, I believe it's somewhere around 9 times. That was the, and God said, let there be. And God said, let there be. And God said. And so word is a vibration. That's how come you can hear it. You can hear those sound waves, those vibrational frequencies. You can hear that. And so when God spoke and he spoke things into existence, then those living things carry his vibrational frequencies. You guys probably see those, oh my gosh, the Himalayan salt lamps and salt rocks and things like that. I've got a friend who has some of those, and she uses them. And so I was like, I want to know how this crystal or how this rock helps me. And just asking those questions like that. You guys, never be afraid to ask questions, because if something is truth, then it should not be afraid of knowledge. Knowledge is never afraid of questions, because if you ask questions and you seek out truth, you will always find the truth and the real answer. So never be afraid to ask questions. So we were just talking about that a little bit, because we were talking about emotions and our vibrational frequencies, and how I use essential oils, and how she's really into Chinese medicine, and she is super knowledgeable and all of that stuff. And so so I'm still not 100% on the rocks and the crystals and things like that, because it's not living. But I'm speaking of living things. Plants, they are alive. They have a vibrational frequency. Animals are alive. They have a vibrational frequency. We are alive. We have a vibrational frequency. You guys, we are carrying, and we were created in the image of God. We're carrying God's frequencies. Even the plants and the animals that weren't created in the image of God, but they were created because he spoke. So that's his vibrations. And that's what is so neat about the essential oils, is because when Young Living takes, let's see the ingredients of joy. When Young Living takes bergamot, ylang-ylang, geranium, lemon, coriander, tangerine, jasmine, Roman chamomile, and palmarosa, and rose. When Young Living takes all of those plants and they they distill them, and they do so properly, then each of those plants that carried that vibrational frequency has now been distilled into an essential oil that still carries those vibrational frequencies. That is why seed distill matters so much, especially if you are using this for emotional health. If you're like me, you used to scent everything in your house with lavender candles, or maybe springtime. Okay, I love spring. I really can't stand winter a whole lot, but in winter we would burn like the warm cozy candles and stuff like that, but springtime was my favorite. It was like fresh linen. I really didn't like, this is interesting, I really didn't like the floral scents. They were overwhelming, and I just didn't like them. I thought they smelled fake, and all of this stuff, but I loved the clean scents. I loved lavender. That was the only floral, and it was just like, oh, it's so calming, it's so relaxing, or it just lifts my spirits, or all of this stuff. And what's funny is that I don't know if it was like, scent does play a role, and so no matter what you smell, whether it's a synthetic or not, it plays a small bit of a role. But here's the thing. We have right here in between our eyes, right back there in our brain, right like 1 inch above our nose, it's called an olfactory system. Or no, that's our, y'all, I'm missing this part of the brain, and I don't think I wrote it down. But anyways, the part of our brain that controls all of our emotions and our memory is right there in between the eyes, and it is connected directly by our olfactory system, which is what it smells. New science is showing that is a that's a frequency as well, and that's a vibrational frequency like sound and sight and everything else. And so that's really interesting, isn't it? It is. I thought that was neat. So science is proving this true, you guys. So anyways, that's all connected right there. So when you do smell something, it does have an effect. But when you take an essential oil, a pure essential oil, like Joy here, this is my favorite. This is what I just don't live without. And I'll tell you some more about some of what I use for different things. And you just smell it like this. You're not only getting that beautiful scent, but all of the frequencies that is in this essential oil, you are inhaling directly, and those frequencies are going into your brain. And so whether you want to feel good or not, whether you want to feel a little bit lighter or not, the science and the chemicals in this, they're working. And yes, I said chemicals, as in like pure chemicals that are constituents that will help you, not toxic. And so when you're dealing with, hold on, let me see if I can show you guys.
These are moms.
So when you've got like Rugrats with you at all times, and you're just like,
these are moms. Mama, these are moms.
Okay, thank you so much. Please set them down. Remember, I'm teaching. And Joy, and just inhaling like that is really great. I have some notes. Hey, shh. Okay, thank you. I want to get you guys some information about the essential oils really fast, just in case we get interrupted. Hey, Keegan, I'm going to let Bubba hold these for Mom. I'm going to let Bubba hold some of these, okay? And you guys can go find some for him. That would be very nice. But I'm going to let him hold these. Thank you. So I'm going to get you guys straighten that camera up for you, some information on different essential oils really fast, and just in case I have to get off here quick like. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do the essential oils, and I'm going to geek out a little bit more on frequencies, and I'm going to share with you some scripture. So if you guys are good with that, give me a like or a heart or something, comment, do something. Okay, so if you're dealing with stress and anxiety, you want things which, these are hot words, this was not compliant, I should not have said that, but if you're dealing with occasional stress and anxiety, you want things that will help ground you. So you're looking for things like lavender, cedarwood, stress away, tranquil roll-on, Roman chamomile, peace and calming. You want things that are grounding. And again, if you guys saw Robert and Leah's video, and then you heard them say this, but if you did not, go watch it. They shared how, like, or their example was oregano. So how oregano might not help Robert with something that he's dealing with, but it might be super great for Leah, who's dealing with the same thing. It's because their body chemistries are different. So I'm about to list off a bunch of essential oils. Get out something to write with. And if not, I mean, you can watch this video. But these videos won't be here forever, so make sure you go back and take notes on things. Okay? So you want things that are grounding. Because with occasional stress and anxiety, you go up. So you want something to help pull you back down, okay? For occasional sadness. This is something that I deal with sometimes. My family, we get some interesting genes. And not the kind that you put on, but the kind you're born with. And so our emotional states are just like all over the map. And so sometimes I do deal with sadness, and it's something that isn't talked about a lot. And especially with new mommies, and even not so new mommies. My oldest is about to be 4, and my youngest is 2.5, and I still deal with it. But occasional sadness. You want things that that will help uplift your spirits. And guys, remember the words that I'm using to describe these, because when you're going through your product guide or you're searching Young Living online and you're searching through things and you're looking stuff up and it says grounding or calming or relaxing, okay, remember that those are all things that do this. They ground you, they calm you, they relax you. When you are occasionally stressed out and occasionally anxious, when you're up, you want grounding, okay? So, same thing. If you are dealing with some occasional sadness, then you want things, sad as a down. You want things that uplift your spirit. So, thank you, Keegan.
We can't eat them.
We're not going to eat them, but thank you so much.
I'm going to find 2 more.
Okay. So, you want, for sadness, you want things like
3 more.
citrus fresh and joy and frankincense, valor, abundance, lemon, sage, hope. All of those things are really great. I'll share a little bit of my testimony after I get done with this, so I don't rabbit trail on you guys. Mental fatigue. How many of y'all get tired out there? Robin, I know you've got a toddler too, and a teenager, and like one in college, and then life. No matter if you have kids or not, life is just hard. And it's so funny that I was in the middle of writing a blog for awakenusdemotion.com yesterday on this exact topic, and then stuff happened and I wasn't able to sit down and write it. So it looks like I'm going to share it with this video today. That'll be fun. But, so, mental fatigue. You want things, again, that are uplifting and energizing, okay? Those are the words that you're looking for when you're searching through your stuff. So, peppermint, clarity. Clarity. I really hated the way it smelled, and it's still not like, oh, I just love to sniff this. Like, joy, frankincense. A lot of these other ones I've listed, I just love to just open them and smell them. Clarity isn't one that I'm like, oh, this just smells so good, but it makes me feel amazing. So I just put a couple of drops of clarity, and I'm gonna just go ahead and do that because, look, you guys. I threw a couple of other ones in here that don't normally stay in there, but all of these except for like 4 normally stay in my bag. And if you notice, they're all an emotional balancing of some sort. So I just put a couple drops of clarity in my hand and rub it on the back of my neck. And I will, just because I know it's so good for you, just go ahead and smell it. But I smell the fennel in it. Some people have said, oh, I smell the peppermint in it. So it's an interesting scent, but it works. It's so amazing. Brain power. I haven't had brain power. I need to order brain power. It's on my want list. Energy. Common sense. All of these things are great for your brain. A couple of other things that are really awesome for your brain, Ninja Red and MindWise. They're fabulous. And I've started taking MindWise, and of course I love my Ninja, because I got really, really concerned. There was a Essential Rewards video I shared a couple months ago. I got really, really concerned with my ability to carry on a conversation, and the fact that I would be in the middle of a conversation and the words would just leave me, and I would be blank. And I'm just like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I'm smart, kind of, you know. I know what I'm talking about to an extent. I have words. I know how to speak. But it just wasn't clicking. So I started drinking MindWise, and I love it. And I recommend it to everybody. Dr. Jim Bob Haggerton, he says, who should be drinking MindWise? Well, if you have a brain, if you have a heart, you should be drinking MindWise. He's like, do babies need to drink MindWise? Do they have brains? Do they have hearts? Well, yes. Yes, they do. Do the elderly need to be drinking MindWise? Do they have brains? They have hearts. Yes. Yes, they do. So there you go. That's from Dr. Jim Bob Haggerton. It was hilarious. Okay. Some powerhouse essential oils for emotional support. Surrender. Release. Joy. Present time. Forgiveness. Dreamcatcher. Harmony. Awaken. Gathering. Believe. Envision. Inner child. Valor. I also love highest potential. I added that one too. So, a lot of these I haven't had on my own, but I have had a raindrop technique, and I'm going to tell you, Katie, you said I love surrender. Was it? No, it's release that's in there. Release. I knew the moment that she put release on me, and I had never smelled this oil before. I've never used this oil before. I've only heard about it, and I've heard Dr. Jim Bob, he recommends using release when you're in your quiet times, and you're journaling, or if you've got some stuff to wait. But he's like, you do not use that oil flippantly. Like, you better be prepared to sit down and have a moment and get it out. And so
Got some more for Zach.
good job, babies.
Mom, there's a bunch.
Okay,
There's a bunch on that tree.
I'm going to show you what they're interrupting us with. Look, I think that they're pears. They're just little baby pears. But anyways, Melissa Pepping. Side note, Squirrel, here's my blue for a moment, y'all. Squirrel is that I had a dream last night that Melissa Pepping's daughter, which I really don't even know her name or what she looks like.
You don't push.
I wasn't trying to push you. I was trying to keep you from knocking over the phone. I had a dream last night that she came to our youth group. That's crazy, I know. Zachy, baby, get off. Hey, boys, can y'all please take that somewhere else? Remember, Mommy's trying to teach. But so Melissa Pepping, she always, around the holidays, when her family's in town and stuff, she's like, you guys, I love to diffuse release in the rooms, and then I douse myself in white Angelica and just watch stuff happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I did that at my family gatherings, people would end up dead, y'all. Like, we'd have a murder on our hands is what would happen. So, okay, some of the other really great oils, or things to think about when you're thinking about your emotional health is trauma. If you've been through any sort of trauma, sleep, you need to have a good night's rest. Jennifer Metcalf shared a really awesome post about her testimony and what she uses for sleep. Hormones. Those are a couple other things I brought out here to share with you. Hormones are really important. Hormones affect everything. Like, everything. In my first video in Thieves, I told you guys I really love Thieves Aroma Bright toothpaste for deodorant because I perspirate a lot. There was a time period about a month or so ago that I'm like, oh my gosh, I smell like a 7th grade boy. And I was hating it, and I couldn't figure out, is it the deodorant? Is it like, what's going on?
That's a bad word.
Okay, go away. Don't touch. And I was just like, this is terrible. Zachy, do not touch it. You can have it after I'm done. Go play. And anyways, Carla Brock, my good friend, was like, that's hormones, honey. I'm just like, oh my gosh. You know what I haven't been using because I've been out of it? Progestins Plus. It's amazing. Why do 7th grade boys stink so much? Because they're going through puberty and their hormones are crazy. Hormones, duh. Progestins Plus. And I also have been using Endoflex. These help with hormone support, yes. Which also help me not stink. Which I'm really thankful for. But they also help my emotional status, my just emotional ability, and especially for us the women, we have a couple, like a week or so out of the month that we just want to like kill somebody. And if you're like me, it's like 2 weeks because it's the week before and the week Progestins Plus is amazing. And Endoflex I'm sure has been a help too. Mama Carla, I know she is amazing. I love Carla. I'm so blessed to have her in my life. Okay, so real quickly, I want to share with you. I told you not mess with that. That's not a toy. I want to share with you a little bit of just my testimony. I have been oily for a little over 2 years. I shared in the Thieves video kind of how I got started, and it wasn't anything to do with any sort of health and wellness. That wasn't, it was, let's make my own laundry soap and save money and not burn candles so my baby doesn't get covered in hot wax type of thing. So, that's how I got started. It had nothing to do with anything. That is important to me now. You can have some here. But in being a part of this journey, obviously you know that you rub it together with your hands and rub it on your face. Gentle Baby. This one's really great. Blair shared about Gentle Baby, and it's awesome. But anyways, like I said, I've always been an emotionally driven person, and I really don't know what started it.
I'm going to have some more.
I think I was probably going through a hard spot, a hard time, and frankincense is highest potential is the first one that found me, that saved me in that sort of like working with my brain and my mindset. Katie Ham came over to my mom's house one day. Keegan, baby, that's loud. And she gave me a Zytoscan, which now she has Itobi, which is awesome. And not that one. Here. And I scanned for highest potential. And it was right after I had this little guy. Rub it together. And I had been thinking about like what I need to do. Baby, not right now. Here, go draw on something.
Alright.
I had been thinking about some of the things that I need to do to get baby weight off and stuff like that, but it wasn't, I don't know, like I was just kind of in the process of starting to think about it. And I scanned for highest potential, and so I was like, you know, I really don't know anything about this oil, but I'll order it and I'll use it. And I started using it. I used it every single day, multiple times a day, and it's just, I do, when I talk about using my oils, 99.9% of the time, I'm talking about what you've seen me do. Put it on my hands, rub it in, smell it, rub it on my neck or my face, my wrist or stuff like that. That's how I use oils. That's the one way that and that's actually 2 ways, because that's topically and inhalation, so topically and aromatically. But anyways, so I started using that, and things just started clicking. I started, like, I was like, all right, I'm ready to do this. And I started taking care of myself physically, and I told my husband, I said, listen, when I get to this weight, then I want I want to go get a personal trainer, and I want to start working out. And so he was just like, okay, you know, I don't know if he just didn't believe that I would get there or what, but anyways, whatever. So highest potential played a huge role in just my mental focus when things started clicking. And it wasn't just a physical, like, take care of myself. It was dreaming, and it just, I don't know, I just felt like I went to a new level. So as the story goes, I ran out of highest potential, and I'm an idiot, and I just didn't order anymore. It was still kind of at the beginning of my oily journey, and so, you know, I was maybe ordering 50. I don't even know if I was on Essential Rewards or not yet. I might have been, but my ordering was minimal, and there were probably just other things that came up because we're moms and we take care of our families first and stuff like that. And so anyway, so I didn't order anymore. And then another season came and went, and then this little beauty right here, his name is Frank. He is a savior. No, Jesus is a savior, but he was given to my savior. So, I actually have a picture of me. I'm sitting down doing bills, and I was just like, oh my gosh. But I went through the season where I was just dealing with some anxiousness, and I was very like all the time. It was always this explosion of something.
That's really bad.
Time out. I gotta tell me something's really bad. Baby, is anybody hurt? No? Okay, can you tell me in just a minute? Mommy's almost done.
Saki have your 8-pin, and he's poking the tree with it.
I told him to go draw on something to get him away, because you were doing so good playing, so just keep it up. So anyways, I was very up here all the time, and like everything was overwhelming, and I just couldn't do it. And so frankincense, I just began literally huffing this all the time. I put it on every day. I use it constantly, and it just got me through. Sorry, I was leaning up. Hi, check on my kids. But it helped ground me, and it helped me just get through that time. After frankincense was Envision, and I didn't even know why it was Envision. Thank you, baby. I was actually getting ready to place my Essential Rewards order, and I was a toss-up between Envision and Awaken, and my Envision is in my purse. I should have double-checked for that. It's always in my bag. Thank you. Just set it down. But I was using it like crazy, and so it just ended up getting thrown in my purse one day. But let me see if I have this on here. Envision, I'll have to post about it, or you can just do some Google research. But I was just, so I was in a toss-up between ordering Awaken and Envision. And Envision, I think, was probably cheaper, so I ended up going with it. Or maybe Awaken was out of stock. It was one of those two reasons. So I ordered Envision, and I was using it. And I couldn't really describe it, and all I knew is that I felt better. That when I was feeling like stuck, and that's the only way I really knew to describe it. I was feeling stuck in a lot of areas. There were some mindsets, and there were some things that God was just working with me on in all kinds of areas of my life, and I was just feeling stuck, and it was frustrating because I'm a blue-red and I'm ready to go, and let's go have fun, and let's do something important, and let's do it right now. And feeling stuck was like the worst thing ever for me. And I was just using Envision, and it was helping, and I was like, oh my gosh. And there were several nights that I was just up at like 3 a.m. still, and diffusing Envision and putting on abundance and frankincense, and I was just reading and studying and praying and all of this stuff, and it like boom, broke through this wall for me, and it was amazing. And not long after that, there was a Facebook event that kind of shared some about some of these powerhouse oils. And the way that Envision was described, it was so perfect and so fitting. And I'm like, duh. God, that's why I was using Envision, because that's where you were leading me to. And so after Envision, it has been Awaken. And Awaken has been one that, and actually, time out, on Envision, I remember when I first got started, Katie sent me a little sample of Envision, and I think it was like when maybe you were first experimenting with oils for emotional support and stuff like that, but you had sent that to me, and I remember loving the way it smelled. And so I was just, I think it was that memory that took me back to Envision when I was like, Envision or Awaken, and then I was supernaturally drawn to Envision, and I don't want that to sound weird or anything. I know most of us are believers, so, but it was awesome, and so it broke through that. But after Envision came Awaken, and that was very loud. Don't do that. Let's get that where you can see it. It's this really pretty blue bottle, and it's like empty, and I've got to order more. But Awaken is really awesome because it's a blend of blends. How awesome is that? Let me see if it lists the blends on here. No, it doesn't. It lists the individual oils. But go look up Awaken, because it is a blend. Okay, you can go inside.
But what about all these fruits?
If you want to, you can go get a bowl or something to put them in.
Oh, no. I can't.
Okay, so just wait. Just wait. You can go inside and rest, and we'll get those in a minute. All of the oils that I use, they all help me for moments like this because I constantly have children or there's stuff going on at work. I don't know if you know, I'm a secretary at my church, and I get to volunteer in youth, and I'm a mom, and there's just all of this dream and vision inside of me for all kinds of ministry things, and there's not one thing, but it's all about any way that I can help people awaken to their purpose and pursue their passion. That's what I want to do. And so I am always all over the place, and so all of the oils that I use help do this. They do some uplifting in my spirits, but they help do abundance was one I forgot in there. When I said help do some uplifting in my spirits, that's what in between. It was either in between Highest Potential and Frank, or Frank and Envision was abundance. And I am so thankful for Myra Yarbrough, who is our upline. She she's Katie's sponsor, and she posts in a group about an abundance challenge, and we might have to do that. I think we've done one before in Armed and Oily, but an abundance challenge. And oh my gosh, it was another one of those lifesavers for me. But here's why all of these things matter. And every time I think abundance now, every time I hear abundance, Ephesians 3:20, abundantly more. God can do abundantly more than all we can ask, dream, think, or imagine. But we have to imagine it, we have to ask for it, and we have to dream about it, we have to think about it. And the reason why that scripture is so important is Proverbs 23:7, for as the man thinks, so is he. Oh my gosh, you guys. Our minds, here's the thing, our minds are so important to our emotions. And this is what I wanted to get off on, but I wanted to get you your essential oils first. Our minds and our thoughts are so important. And I did not write it on here. But basically, a negative thought can decrease your frequency. I think it's by... don't do that, honey. By like 5 or 10. A positive thought can increase your frequency by 10 megahertz. This is what frequency is measured in. It's measured in. It's the megahertz. So when I say numbers, I'm referring to those measurements, okay? Prayer and meditation will increase your frequency by 15. And so I love that because you've got negative thought, positive thought that can kind of balance each other out. But then prayer and meditation takes it a step further. And then when you couple these things, I've got a list here that just kind of lists out the frequencies. When you couple these essential oils with it, then it explodes it. And so Rose has a 320 megahertz value. Oh my gosh.
That's
Joy.
A lot.
One of the reasons why we love Joy so much. It has 189 megahertz. Helichrysum, 181. Frankincense, 147. Lavender, 118. Citrus Fresh has 91. Purification, 45. And there's all kinds of stuff in between there. So, it is godly that we have these, because number one, what we think about becomes what we feel. They become emotions. What I was writing in the middle of writing was just the last couple of days how I've been going all over the place. I've got a devotion that came out. I was working on getting everything finalized and edited and printed, and all of this stuff going on top of everything else that I already do. And so I really slacked off on just oiling. I slacked off on a lot of stuff. And on being, you guys, it takes effort to be aware of your mind. It takes effort to be aware of your thoughts. And so I just kind of slacked off, and I let my thoughts happen to me. And I noticed the last couple of days that my thoughts were Actually, the best, you can order just 2 minutes on Amazon. It's a Kindle version, but if you don't have a Kindle, you can go to awakenusttomotion.com and the What's Going On page. You can order a printed copy of that workbook, and I will mail it to you, or you can order the PDF where you can download it and use it on whatever device you want. So yes, sure, I don't care. So anyways, I just had a lot going on, and I slacked off, and I noticed that my thoughts were negative, and I was starting to feel bad, and all of this stuff, and I was just like, okay. I've got to, things click. I had mentioned things clicking, and Taylor, you had commented that you love when things start clicking. Things start clicking, number one, when we are having our daily quiet times and we are here with the Lord and we know that He's here and we are operating out of that surrender to Him. Things start clicking, number two, when we are mindful of what we're thinking about. As for Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinks, so is he. And there's all kinds of scripture in Colossians and Corinthians and all over the Bible. It talks about keeping your mind right, keeping your eyes focused, keeping, think about things above, not earthly things, and all of this stuff. And phone call. Anyways, so there's so much. You guys have to keep your mind right. And number three, be taking care of yourself, putting good things in to help raise those frequencies. Nutrition is huge. Processed food has 0 frequencies. Raw food, let me see it. Fresh produce, depending on how fresh it is, has a 10 to 15 megahertz frequency. Dry herbs, 12 to 22. And then it just goes from there. And a therapeutic grade essential oil has anywhere from 53 to 320 megahertz. So our frequencies, even though we don't maybe fully understand them, they impact us whether we want them to or not, whether we know they are or not. So that's why it's very important to know about it. It's very important to be using products every day. Your limbic system is extremely important. Do research on it and your olfactory workings and all of that. And I'm going to close this because I know I've been talking for a long time, but I love it. So I hope you forgive me, and I hope that you're learning good, valuable information. And I want you to know that if you want any more information, or you want to talk, or you want anything, then just holler at me. And because this is what I love, you guys. I know that I can't survive when I feel down. I know that I can't. I'm not a good mom. I'm not a good wife. I'm not a good employee. I'm not a good person in general when my emotions are crazy. And they get crazy from hormones, from nutrition, from sleep, from all of these things. And so you can influence those things. You can take care of yourself, and you can do the best that you can and trust God to work it all out. You can do those things. So use your products, use your Ningshin, use your supplements, get good sleep, use your oils, for God's sake. He gave them to you. It's stupid not to use them, because you can use them to support all of these things. So I want you guys to comment this is for the drawing. This is for what we're gonna give away. I want you to comment number one of the ways that affects your emotions the most. So if it's mental fatigue, or nutrition, or just crazy genetics, or whatever it is, and let me know if you feel like anxious and you feel like this, or you feel sad or down, or whatever it is, or maybe there's been some trauma. I want you to comment. Tell me about what's going on with your emotional state, and then tell me about either one of the oils that you think you should try to help that, or maybe if you've had a success in your emotional state, share that. And I will either be giving away, it'll be your choice, this Abundance roll-on. It's a 10 milliliter, it's Abundance with some grapeseed oil, or a 5 milliliter of tangerine. Abundance will be your focus, will be your driving if you feel stuck, if you feel down, if you feel like Abundance just kind of is all-encompassing. I love abundance. But tangerine is a great one if you're dealing with some sadness, if you need some uplifting. So, anyways, I want to know some of your experiences with what you've used and what you think you'd like to use. And Katie and Carla will be letting us know when all of these drawings will be taking place. We're giving away lots of stuff. So, again, make sure you're commenting and you are participating and get entered into win that Thieves kit. You guys have a great day. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.